Testing Ayurveda and Meditation, Day 4. So, as promised, I'm continuing this journey. It's first week of the journey with Ayurveda and meditation, and already there were some nice elements happening on the road, testing out how we work as human body and mind in terms of just food intake, the proper timing of food intake and proper food during this time, to just check how it impacts our energy on daily basis from morning to evening. So this led me to some upgrades, to some daily rituals, to some results, but as well to check what elements would be interesting from Ayurveda itself and what elements are beneficial from meditation when I see that clearly this element might be originating from meditation itself. So I wanted to share with you the day 4 results and just highlight some of those elements, because as you see, most of the times I try to wake up at 4, 5, sometimes earlier, sometimes later, to meditate on daily basis, to just introduce some grace, some priming, straightening of the backbone, just to be efficient during the meditation, just as well to have the proper energy flow without any blockages, because for some time I felt some blockages in my backbone in certain place, just displaced by abusing the electronics too much. So I found out that this exercise, connecting both, having proper posture and charging yourself with energy with this priming exercise, and then adding the meditation that will align you, that will keep you with single thoughts, no thoughts at all, not yet, but with single thoughts, focusing on the breath, focusing on different aspects of you as human being, is very good starting element. And this element gives me much more energy during the day than I thought would be possible, and it brings nice energetic pattern during the day. Additionally, as you see, I added some experiments with how I eat the breakfast. So the 7:30 is quite regular. Usually I prefer to have scrambled eggs with some additions, with some leafy greens as well. But this is something that shows me that, this one, and before having 2 glasses of warm water, like you see on Friday I didn't have this warm water just because there were some timing elements that I needed to consider, and didn't have time, which it's 3 minutes, but I didn't put those 2 glasses in. And I saw that there is some side effects of this. Some side effects, like I needed to take regular coffee. Later on, I usually correlate both, like 2 glasses of water. If I don't drink it, then I have much more need for the coffee. This time it was regular coffee with almond milk. 1:15 it was sorrel soup, this leafy greens soup. Then 1:30 chicken de volaille with salads, lots of salads, and then at 2:30 decaf with spelt milk and cocoa, and that one was an interesting aspect, because it was not only introducing again something to drink, but something that is really like sour, like bitter a bit, with not really the sweet kind of perspective to this part of the day. 2:30 is usually, as you see, kapha Pitta Vata. It's this Vata time. For me, it was interesting observation. During the weekend, I wanted to do some walking, and we have this kids carrier, and we just wanted to do some walking with the kids, and it was around 8 kilometers as calculated. I had audiobook in the evening. This time it was this Spirit Junkie. It's very interesting book. In Polish it's translated a bit differently, but it's very interesting. It's based on Course of Miracles, one of the books highlighted by David Hawkins as the one that brings very interesting resistance to falsehood, resistance to fear. So for me it was interesting because this is much shorter than whole Course of Miracles. It's an audio version, it's like 5 hours. Course of Miracles is like 36 hours. So I thought, okay, let's start with this one. And already this one was very interesting, as you will see on the right side. But out of love, out of ego into love, this is like my translation of what this one is about and what I was trying to do for a long time already, like create some courses, things like this, around going out of ego consciousness into this love consciousness, to higher consciousness, as highlighted those vibrations over level 200. This was about it. And bedtime 9 p.m. I try to go between 9 and 10 p.m. Usually I focus on 9, just to be ready for this early morning wake up for meditation, for some exercises. And the effects for day 4, basing on these rituals for this day, were that respiration was quite clear. So this regular coffee with almond milk after the breakfast, but long after the breakfast, didn't introduce any side effects, although it had this milk or quasi-milk, because milk is usually cow's milk, added, and midday sleep was not needed as I was moving a lot, so that should be natural. For the mind perspective, more pressure in the mind due to coffee, because coffee tends to introduce some effects of that matter for me. The mind was quite constructive and responsive, so it was working on good pace. For the spirit, usually I connected to meditation benefits and more centered, but this time a bit over focused on lower energy, and this time ego was a bit offensive, I would say, and there were lots of micro short circuits combination which impacted energy pattern a bit for the day, but they were quite refreshing, because next day they brought some interesting effects, the positive effects. And as you see in here, in the context of meditation, intuition, and connecting it to this audiobook context, intuition, there was an energy boost yoga technique that I started to introduce, especially during this strong energy exchange moments. It's very effective, and I was showing it already. Search from Zen entrepreneurship about this energy boost yoga technique brought me into the video of author of Spirit Junkie, which has been picked up out of curiosity, just to check what she is teaching about. Then when I visited my grandma's place, and I found there the book that was like talking about Course of Miracles. I picked it up, and it occurred that this is the very book of that woman who was speaking about energy boost, and additionally she highlights that it was mostly about going out of her ego when she evolved. And that was very interesting. And when searching for English audiobook, I found this original name, Spearing Jackie and Gabrielle. So it was very interesting. But what was even more interesting, I started to listen to this audiobook, and there was quite interesting way of just stabilizing the relationships, like heart-to-heart energy transfer with visualization, that with every breath in, you just connect with the other heart, and you just inhale this energy, this golden energy that is flowing into you. Then breathing out, you just give this energy back. And for me, that was very interesting element, as it highlighted as well in my mind that for all of us, we try to give more and more energy, and we forget about thinking that we need to receive the love back, because this love going out and going in, it's what keeps everything moving. And this is as well highlighted in many religions, that you should be in balance with giving and receiving. This is this process that charges you with energy. So for me, those were the critical elements that I found for day 4, for Friday, that I want to share with you. And I will focus on different aspects, either of Ayurveda or meditation, because I see that some lessons need to be learned from Ayurveda to go into meditation, then from meditation into Ayurveda, then listening to some audiobooks with some clues, then moving further. So for today, I thank you very much for listening, and see you next time. And just keep testing things on your own. If you want to keep the pace with me, just test it out. It's very easy, outgoing, and while testing, you will see how all those things impact you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.